renovation loans, are these like completely different than standard mortgages, or still like the VA, USDA? Like, what are the different types of renovation mortgages?
No, they're the same. We have VA, we have FHA, and we have conventional.
Okay.
We actually have 2 FHA products, 2 conventional products, and a VA product, and they're all unique in their own terms.
Sure.
And if you have any questions, you can call me because it's taking a lot longer to explain them.
Sure.
And again, it goes back to every customer has different goals, and it's all about what are your goals.
Gotcha, perfect. And then on a typical renovation loan, like what does the timeline look like that? Is it normal 30 days, or do we need to bake in like 60 days, something to that effect? How does that work?
Yeah, so that's I can't give you a blanket response for that one. So basically, it's just going to depend on the complexity of the renovations, the scope of the work, and really, I think the most important is the efficiency of all parties involved. Okay. So that's going to be the buyer and the contractor, real estate agent, and lender. It just depends on how efficient they can be. I've seen renovation loans close in 30 days, and I've seen them close in 120 days. Okay. It really just depends on the scope of the work.
So could you walk me through what a typical timeline would look like then? Is it just like, say I'm the realtor, I bring my buyer with me, does the contractor come with us? Does he come do the work beforehand? All that stuff?
They don't have to.
Okay.
I would suggest that they come with you, and the reason why I say that is because, one, you want to know what you're getting yourself into before you put an offer in.
Sure.
So if you can have your contractor go out to the house, look at it, kind of give you an estimate of what it's going to cost, and then once you say, hey, I want to put an offer in, that's when things get a little bit more serious. You put an offer in. During that time, your contractor starts to work on the bids, and we provide them with an example bid because the bid has to be very detailed. It has to show us how much is the labor, how much is the materials. So they will work on that. We can't order the appraisal until we have those bids. So again, depending on the scope of the work, the size of the renovations, if the contractor has to write thousands of words and thousands of descriptions of what's going on. Like if we're putting $300,000 into a home, probably gonna take a little bit longer. Now, if you're just repainting the house, putting in new carpet, maybe freshening up the cabinets, that might take a contractor a week maybe to work on those bids. So once we get those bids, we then order the appraisal, and then at that point it becomes pretty much a normal mortgage. About 3 weeks by the time that we order the appraisal to get the clear to close.
So the work isn't done before closing, the work is done after closing, is that correct?
The renovations?
The renovations, so you guys do bids and stuff beforehand.
Yeah, we close, 2 buckets go to closing. 1 bucket is going to be for the seller. They take their proceeds. The other bucket is going to come back to us. We're going to put it in an escrow account, and then we're going to pay draws to the contractor. So we close, and then the renovations begin. Okay.
And I assume these are a little bit riskier type of loans for the bank side. So like how much extra am I paying for? Is like extra interest rates, higher fees, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so of course it is going to be riskier for us because we are lending on the after improved value. So if the improvements never get done, we lend above what that home is worth.
Gotcha.
That's why it's a little bit more risky for us, and we charge a little bit more fees. Interest rate, I don't want to quote any interest rates without knowing anything, but it's going to be higher. I would say between 3/8 to 0.5% higher. And then our origination charge does get a little bit higher on renovation loans.
But so it's only like a slight upcharge. It's not like
slight
2
upcharge.
or 3 extra percentage points.
Nope. And you can still pay discount points on renovation loans. So if you didn't want to pay that extra 3/8 to 0.5%, you can just pay discount points and get the same rate as everybody else on today's market.
Fantastic. No, that's a good tip to have there. And then like who hires the actual contractors that will be doing the work? Is that me, or does the bank handle it? How does that work?
So we don't hire any contractors. That's typically going to be put on the borrower. I suggest the borrower interviews a couple different contractors. Now we will take them through a validation process. So we're going to make sure they have insurances, make sure that they have licenses, make sure they've done jobs recently and jobs that are similar to the ones that we're going to do, right? If we're going to have somebody come in and put a whole addition onto the home, maybe add a living room and a 4th bedroom, we're not going to let you use somebody who's only done bathroom remodels in the past 5 years, right? They have to have done similar jobs in the past. So we do take them through a validation process, and again, it's because it's a risk on our behalf. So we don't want to let you hire somebody and then halfway through it kind of fall apart.
No, that makes sense there. And I guess kind of jumping to this a little bit, what happens if there is a problem and there's like a dispute with the contractor and they like walk off the job or something to this effect?
Yeah, so unfortunately that does happen. We try to prevent it as much as we can through the validation process. What happens in that case, honestly, is you're gonna have to look at the contract, what kind of contract you have with your contractor, and seeing if you can basically satisfy the problems with him, and if you can't, I would suggest you reach legal advice
Okay.
To kind of figure out what you're going to do on that behalf and money owed and stuff like that. Or on our aspect, basically, we're going to have to hire a new contractor. We're going to take them, we might order a new appraisal, say this is what's already been done. Here's what you're going to get paid on it because this is what we had already planned to pay for it, right? So if a contractor gives us bids and we plan on paying $10,000 for what's already done, hey, are you okay with accepting this job knowing that you're going to get paid this much for this, and how much is it going to cost you for the rest of the renovations? We always take a contingency reserve. So a contingency reserve is we take a little bit of the renovation cost. So if we're going to do $40,000 worth of renovations, we're going to take 10 or 15%. So we're going to take $4,000 and we're going to put it into that little bucket that I talked about, that escrow account. We're going to put it in there, and if anything were to happen during the renovations that we need extra funds, that's where that money comes from.
Okay, so that would be like if there was change orders or something to this.
If there was change orders, if the contractor gets in there and tears down a wall and he's like, whoa, I didn't plan for this, we can take that money from the contingency reserve and apply it to get that renovations fixed.
Gotcha.
If we don't use it, you can, one, apply it towards the principal balance, or two, you can actually add extra repairs.
Oh, so you can like make further improvements, like
Further
upgrade
improvements,
the kitchen or whatever you want to do.
Great way to
like
put
that.
it. Yeah. So if it wasn't in your budget to replace the carpet in the basement, you're done. You didn't use your contingency reserve. You can use that money to now replace the carpet in the basement.
That's cool. That's good to know there.
Yep.
And then last question regarding the contractors. How long do they have to get the job done? And then are they just paid in draws? Do they get it? Okay.
Yep, they're paid in draws. And it depends, again, it depends on what loan type and what draws they're paid. Some are 50% up front.
Sure.
Some are half of the material cost up front. And how long it takes. VA, you have 4 months to get done. FHA, you have 6 months, and conventional, you have 12 months.
Okay, so it just depends on the product.
Just depends on the loan
Makes
product.
sense.
Yeah.
And then I guess more looking towards my own personal house. Let's say I don't want to sell, but I'm interested in taking advantage of this. Could I potentially refinance my current loan as a rehab type of situation?
Absolutely. You can refinance renovation loans 100%. And the reason why they're so much, the reason why they're better than a regular refinance, like a cash out refinance, is because when you're doing a cash out refinance, the LTV or the loan to value is based on your property as is. Renovation refinances, we will lend on the after improved value. So if we know you're going to put $100,000 into your house, your LTV is based on those after improved values, which allow you to get more out of your house.
No, that's huge there. That's actually really good to know. And then what is the maximum amount I can borrow? And then are there limitations on the type of improvements I can make on the property?
Yeah, so the amount that you can borrow is going to be depending on the loan type. You're still following FHA loan limits. Still following conventional loan limits. We do have a jumbo product. It's a little bit different. That would be a whole different discussion.
Yeah, is there a limitation? Can I put a new roof on? Can I put a pool in? Can I do something crazy, extravagant, fancy?
So it depends on the loan type. So FHA is going to be a little bit more strict. No luxury items. Conventional, you are going to be allowed to do luxury items. You can add, replace pools. You can take away pools, gazebos, tennis courts, movie theaters. That's going to be for your conventional products. FHA is going to be more carpets, cabinets, man caves, she sheds. You can do AUDs, accessory dwelling units, as long as there's comparables in the neighborhood. So attached or detached garage. There's really no limitations to what you can do. It's just going to depend on the product.
So I could potentially, you mentioned the ADU, I could put a loft or a mother-in-law suite on top of my garage or something like this if I wanted to. Interesting. Okay. Perfect. And then I guess last question in this section here, you mentioned the loan to value ratio. So what is the maximum on a renovation loan? Is it 70%, 80%, something like that?
No, actually it's the same as a regular FHA mortgage and conventional mortgage. So first-time home buyers can get away with as little as 3% down. That's going to be 3% of the purchase price plus the improvements. But anywhere from 3% all the way up to 25%. Some investor products require 25% down. The majority of them are ranging between 5 to 20%.
Oh, I think I was talking about the loan to value ratio. So isn't that?
Well, so it's the same thing. So it's just looking at it from a different angle. So loan to value and down payments are synonyms, so they equate to each other, right? So if I'm saying a 3% down, that means loan to value would be 97%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the loan to value could be anywhere from 97% to 75%. It depends on the product.
Thanks for making it through the video. Zack Linder here from Zack Linder and the Zack Pack, powered by Coldwell Banker. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It does support our channel. We really appreciate it. And check out one of these other videos while you're here. Have a great day.